Good afternoon, students. This is your friendly, government-issued public service announcement. Please keep your eyes on the path in front of you as you make your way back to your classrooms. Device use while walking is strictly prohibited and illegal in all 50 U.S. states and can lead to bodily harm. Uh-oh. Have you ever not wanted to get out of your bed, go to the kitchen, and go all the way down to your driveway just to take out some trash because you're too lazy to do so? Well, we've got the solution for that.
That's why we created
The supersonic black hole vacuum cleaner.
And how you use it is you take it off the wireless charger, you place it down, and press the button, and it cleans.
And sucks it into a black hole.
It is $300 plus tax and shipping.
And it sucks the trash into another dimension.
warning. Small children and pets might be sucked in and lost forever.
Introducing the diet machine.
Tired of not knowing what to eat for lunch?
Need help staying on a diet? Fear no more. Now you can eat a wide variety of foods and still stay on a diet. With 95% positive effect.
It's only $500.
No tax included if you call us now.
Or visit our website at www.dietmachine.com. The Diet Machine.
Are you tired of your ice cream melting every time you go outside? Cone Chai are never melting ice cream, only for $500.
Are you tired of running out of pizza at the worst times? Come try our everlasting pizza for $1,000.
Do you get annoyed when you're at the store and you run out of money? Come try our everlasting money just for $2,000.
Come try paw legs for $1.
And everything everlasting.
Have you ever wanted to go to space?
Well, introducing the anti-gravity space chamber.
You can go into space without a spacesuit on.
And there's a speaker included in the back.
And you can get this all for the low, low price of $1,500.
So, get out of your house and get an A.
G. S. C.
Today.
Registration is just how she said it would be. You press the green button on the controller and fireworks come out.
Wow. And it was the best birthday party ever.
And ammo is only an extra $25. Call at 800-454-2236. Can I have a birthday like this next year?
With a fire blaster you can.
It's the best! Teachers are leaving. I can't believe it's happening.
I don't think it's good for the kids at all. I think that they need human supervision. They need adults to teach them who care about them, not some mindless, heartless computer.
We are seeing a huge incline in device activity in schools, a change that could save the government billions of dollars annually. Stay tuned to find out how this could affect your wallet for the better, as the huge savings could be passed on to you.
I've been doing research for years, and the new programming has not been tested on adolescents at all.
Why do you think it's being pushed through so quickly?
Why do you think? The same reason all problems began. Money and power. With these new programs, the government can fire every walking and talking employee at every elementary or high school. With these programs, the government and device companies will make millions, no, trillions! They purposely began to go out of their ways to make these programs more addictive to the brain. For instance, every time you get a ding or a notification on your phone, don't you feel just a little happy? That's the dopamine releasing in your brain. Dopamine is an organic chemical found in your brain. Dopamine serves as a neurotransmitter. The dopamine pathways play a major role in the motivational component of reward-motivated behavior. The anticipation of most rewards increases the level of dopamine in your brain. For instance, when you get a notification on Facebook, you get a hit of dopamine, fake happiness. And when you get a text message, you get another hit of dopamine. The builders of these programs know this and make it so on purpose so they keep you coming back.
We've been told these funds will go to help our economic crisis, the one that has been escalating for more than 20 years. But you are saying that this is a bad thing.
Look, all I'm saying is the government and these big companies are trying to pass themselves off as a modern-day Robin Hood, saying that they'll spread around a portion of the wealth. But you know, they have not taken 1 second to stop and consider how this will affect our children. We don't know the physical effects, let alone the psychological. 8 hours of VR every day just seems like a lot. Have they stopped to think about the ramifications? That's all I'm asking.
Do you know, when I was a little girl, we didn't have cell phones or social media or virtual reality. Why, even the internet had not yet begun spinning its World Wide Web.
What did you do on it?
We played outside with each other.
Just another gun. My thoughts run. My anger shows. My moves are heavy. My sight is slow. Am I an angel or just another ghost? Don't turn.
I can't believe we aren't going to have teachers anymore.
Yeah, it's sort of strange.
I'm really going to miss Miss Clark. She was my favorite.
Yeah, remember the time she let us pie her in the face because we got all A's on our progress report?
That was such a great day. She actually made learning fun.
How is this supposed to work again? We link up to some sort of data hive?
Yeah, remember? We link up with our bands and the bands connect wirelessly to our brains. It acts sort of like a neurotransmitter. Didn't you pay any attention to the orientation?
No, but you sound like you did.
That's okay, Willow. I don't get most of this high-tech garbage either. My dad says we're super lucky. He couldn't believe it when we got the letter saying I was picked for the trial. I can't wait. It's supposed to be the newest VR available.
What if it's like the Flight of Passage at Disney World? That's my favorite ride. Do you think it'll really be as cool as Flight of Passage?
I sure hope so.
Me too.
Me too.
I think I got this thing figured out. Look.
I've got a very bad feeling about this.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I can't explain it. There's this queasiness in my stomach, and I just can't shake it.
I've heard nothing but good things about this new programming. We're supposed to learn 10 times faster than traditional teaching methods.
Yeah, and they're going to give us free reign on device time. The more we use our new devices, the more free data, more social media.
More games.
More movies.
I'm not so sure all this more is always such a good thing. I mean, what are these tech companies getting out of all this?
Money. Duh.
But how? They're giving away the devices. Free data. What's the catch?
Have a little faith. Not all multi-billion-dollar companies are in it for the money.
Yeah, right.
I guess I just need time to let it all sink in.
What?
I can't believe my mom and dad are actually letting me do this. They used to limit my screen time to 2 hours a day, but they don't even seem bothered by the fact that I'm spending 8 hours on non-stop device time.
Yeah, mine too. Ever since they found out how much money the company was going to give everyone, it's like they don't even care. Yeah, my dad said he's going to buy a boat with his refunds, then take my family to Tahiti.
Tahiti? I went there last summer. It was really fun.
Mine is going to add a game room to the back of our house with an in-ground pool with a hot tub that lights up and everything.
Cool. Maybe we can have a pool party at your house this summer.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to get that much money. My parents are pretty skeptical about this whole thing.
Either way, I don't care. We won't get in trouble with our teachers anymore. We will be completely unsupervised.
Not completely unsupervised.
Good morning, students. My name is Mondoc Ika. I am your government-issued child monitoring system. Now, as you might have noticed, I may resemble one of you very closely.
What the?
My programmers built me to mimic a fellow classmate in order to exhibit a friendly, non-threatening, and approachable aesthetic.
Boy, did they pick the wrong face for that.
Yeah, my face.
You're not exactly the most friendly face in here.
Programming glitch number 1. Officially noted.
Welcome to your first day of higher learning via wireless HIVE connectivity. You will learn at a rate that surpasses any other previously used teaching methods. Want to learn about India? No problem. We will take you on a virtual tour where you can interact with the locals and become fully integrated in their way of life. Want to study the planets? Let's take a trip to Jupiter. Experience zero gravity without ever leaving your seat. You will be completely submerged in whatever area you are studying in addiction.
Programming glitch number 2.
In addition to education, you can also use your HIVE bands on your free time for socializing and gaming with your friends. Instant Connect keeps you connected and entertained 24/7. It's the first time you will actually be rewarded for all of that device time. For every hour of connectivity, you will earn 30 minutes of free data and Electrobucks, saving mom and dad lots of money on those inflated internet bills. These virtual bucks can be used to buy more virtual games and experience higher levels of VR connectivity. When you're in the HIVE, there's no need to do anything else. We've got your educational, social, and entertainment needs covered. Shall we begin? Please attach your HIVE bands by slapping it firmly onto your wrist. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the HIVE. We will be going live in 3, 2, 1. Going offline in 3, 2, 1. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Now it's time for lunch. Class dismissed. But don't forget, you can log into the Hive whenever class isn't in session. Enjoy.
Lunch? How is it already lunch? It feels like we literally just logged into the Hive.
You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. Fun? Did I just say that learning was fun?
We started at 8:15. It's 12:30 now. For the record, I did have fun when we were being taught the old way, and I will miss all my old teachers, especially Miss McGuff. But this is beyond fun. It's incredible. I'm never going back to the old way.
4 hours and 15 minutes. But it felt like no time at all.
I went on safari and learned about giraffes. They're my favorite. Giraffes? I love giraffes, but I just finished a voice lesson at Carnegie Hall with the famous Jenny Lind. I went scuba diving with a great white shark. What? It's just pretend, guys. I played with Play-Doh. All the things you could have done, and you chose to play with Play-Doh? What? I really like Play-Doh.
My little girl Ruby is 10 years old and already knows how to speak 2 new languages. Her VR record shows that she has more travel experience than my husband and I ever dreamed of having. She will be more cultured than any of the neighbors' children. She just finished her 2nd unit of advanced trigonometry, and she's starting calculus next week. I guess the only downside is that she's always in the Hive, and we haven't really been able to see her do those 2 new fancy languages. But what can I say? She's a hard worker. Well, I guess that's the price you pay for higher education and free unlimited internet access. And not to mention that return we're all going to get at the end of the year. It's so worth it.
Can you believe all of them?
I knew it, and I was the first one to say it. Too much of a good thing.
I'm not sure how good this is. Look at them. They've become Hive zombies. If you're not in the Hive, you might as well be dead. There's no one to talk to or to hang out with, and no one will study with me because they'd rather use some virtual study drill. I feel so alone. I just don't understand why people would rather spend their time in a fake VR world than here with real people. Seriously? Ugh.
Fragile is the touch, 'cause it fractures and combusts our illusions and confusions. But the risk is why we choose it. We were born outside the hive, picking balls yet still alive, separating in our castles as our bright and future are spectral friends tonight, and it's our job to make it right beneath the void with you and I. If you could see today, would you really want to know if I could make you stay? I'd really like to take control. Can't you just be like me? I really need to make you see what has become of us. I really like to make it work. We are spectral friends, and I want you to know, you know, we're haunting while the others breathe and grow. We are spectral friends tonight, and it's our job to make it right beneath the void with you and I. Ghost, but then you never know. I'm a ghost, but then you never know. I'm a ghost, but then you never know. To take you out.
Hi, my name is Maggie the News. I'm with you at ABC News. Here's Wendy with the weather. Hi, my name is Wendy, and I'm your weather forecast girl. Well, you see, it's sunny today, and tomorrow it's going to be 100 degrees. The next day is going to be almost 20. It might even snow. So, you better get ready for the snowy, windy, really hot, sunny days. Now here's the sports. I'm Jenny and I'm here with your sports. Today's sports are Alabama and Auburn, and they're gonna play in this big soccer field. Back to your headline news. That is your news.
And now, it's time for your entertainment tip of the day. Be sure to download the latest app, TravelSim, the app that allows you to keep moving and stay entertained without pesky distractions. Be alerted when pesky obstacles get in your way. This ad has been brought to you by the HIVE.
Gosh, this is so cool. Look at the size of that thing. I feel so alive.
Welcome to the real world, Joseph. You've been awakened.
Where am I?
This is our sanctuary, the one place we can be free of the hive.
Why would you want to be free from the hive?
It's out of range.
Then I need to get back in range. I am this close to beating my high score on Hike the Pike. Do you know how many minutes of free data and electrobucks I'll win after I reach Hike's Peak? And how do people know my name?
And what will you do with that free data and electrobooks, Joseph?
I'll buy the next level Hike the Pike. I'm highest up on the mountain than anyone, and I plan to stay in the lead.
And so you'll beat that level and purchase another game. Then beat that one and purchase another. And for what, Joseph? More data? Free electrobucks? What a great reward.
You think you're getting something for free, but it all comes with a steep price.
There is where you are incorrect. I have gotten all my data free and paid for all my games with electrobucks that I've won, that I've earned.
Wrong! You paid for those games with your life. How many seconds, minutes, hours, days of your life have you wasted for those empty rewards?
Do you know how much time passes when you're in the hive?
Take a walk, Joseph.
What's the matter?
Well, I was having a wonderful time in the hive, but then I realized that my pretend world was gone, and I realized that I was lost and all alone.
Well, sometimes when people spend too much time in the hive, as you call it, they get a little lost in the real world. But don't worry, you're not alone now. Do you know, when I was a little girl, we didn't have cell phones or social media or virtual reality. In fact, even the internet had not yet begun spinning its world wide web.
What did you do all day?
We played.
With what?
We played outside with each other.
Whoa, how did you do that?
We figured out how to hack the Hive mainframe. We wanted a way to be able to access the Hive without being controlled by it. We started the school year like you did. We were all addicted to the Hive and what it had to offer. Then one day, I wandered upstairs on accident, out of range of Hive connectivity, just like you did. It was the first time in weeks I'd been out of the Hive. The first time in weeks I didn't feel like a mindless empty shell just going through the motions everyone else had been going through. Hours of forced ads, no real contact with my friends or family. Speaking of your friends.
I thought Beatrice hated the Hive.
She did, but became so lonely that she gave up all hope of having her real friends back. Would you like to see where she goes when she's in the Hive?
Where are we?
This is where Beatrice spends all of her free time. A world where her friends are never too distracted to study or hang out.
But that's not me. Those are her real friends.
She had no one left. You were too busy playing Hike the Pike. Isn't that the most important thing to you? Earning more data and free lecture bucks so you can spend even more time in the Hive? I love you guys.
I was wrong.
You're just
This empty playground is a reminder of just how addicted everyone has become. It sits here empty day after day. I broke free of the Hive when I realized we weren't being watched or taken care of. Mon.Eco can't take care of us. Our old teachers would never have let any of us walk through life aimlessly. Our teachers fought for us, but they lost. This is where you spend much of your life. You have learned more than anyone dreamed was possible. But what good is all that knowledge when nobody uses it?
We gotta wake them up. All of them.
You have 1 hour to roam the Hive undetected.
But how? We can wake them up, but it'll be up to them to decide if they want to unplug or not. And because it's a Hive, our bands won't come off unless everyone agrees to disconnect.
All we can do is try.
Thank you, Bob.
What's going on? Listen, we don't have much time, but we're trying to convince you to leave the Hive.
Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but I did not want to leave the Hive either. But today I realized something. I was wasting my life inside of there. And for what?
To be fulfilled by a false sense of gratification? What good are we doing? What are we accomplishing? Anything?
We're missing out on our lives. People who care about us and who we care about. Our friends. Our family. When's the last time you looked one of your friends in the eye and had a real conversation with them?
Hey, where's Maggie? I don't know. I never met her. The last time I saw her, she was having with Cinderella. Not in the Hive, silly. In the real world. Maggie, where are
Let's ask Mondadika. Maybe she can help us. Hey, Mondadika! Locate Maggie Dolbridge.
Your request is invalid.
Come on, you hook of junk. Locate Maggie Dolbridge. That's what you're here for, to supervise and assist.
I am unable to process your request at this time. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Oh, forget it.
Forgetting. Enjoy the hive.
Everyone spread out and look everywhere. We've got to find her. Maggie!
Maggie, where were you? Well, I was lost in the woods, but then this nice lady helped me find my way back.
I hope all of you will cherish and look after each other more carefully from now on. Today a child was lost, and I found her. Tomorrow another child might be lost, and who will find her?
Thank you so much. We will be there.
We promise. I didn't realize how wrapped up we all were in the hive. Someone could have gotten hurt.
But I've learned so much in the hive. Is that a bad thing?
Learning is never a bad thing. It's just that we can't apply what we've learned. If we're never in the real world, we might as well let go of the hive.
You don't have to ask me twice. Let's get these things off. I'm ready to see my family. I feel like I haven't seen them in weeks.
All right, everyone, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm feeling strong enough to bring the world into. Feels like ever since we left this place, young, wild, and ready to make it all. Overdressed another day. All my time has come today.
Hive trial complete. Students have opted to perform self-induced awakening. Assessment. Program faulty. More testing required. Thank you for visiting the hive. Goodbye.
What? You mean to tell me all this time we've been in the hive? Wait a minute. You guys, it's still August the 9th. It's still the same day.
Everything. It all happened in one day? How is that possible?
It's the hive.
Once again, I really think it's time we let go of the hive.
The hive trial that was supposed to revolutionize how students learn in school ended abruptly on day 1. We caught up with some of the participants. Let's see what they have to say.
Unlimited access to knowledge is a big responsibility. I hope we can learn to use it wisely.
Some people may think the trial was a complete failure, and for the most part, it was. But in some ways, it was a success. I mean, we learned a lot about ourselves and each other. The world isn't ready for the hive. We have to first realize how important reality is versus virtual reality. The grass isn't always greener on the VR side.
I learned that I'd rather play with my real friends on the real playground than play on a pretend one any day.
It's time we put down our devices and take back our childhood.
I learned that sometimes your friends let you down, but they'll also come for you when you need them the most.
for visiting the Hive. See you next time.
While the others breathe and grow. We are spectral friends tonight, and it's our job to make it right beneath the void with you and
Wasn't that fun? Now it's time for lunch. Class dismissed. But don't forget, you can log into the Hive whenever class isn't in session. Enjoy.
Yeah, so as a counselor, how do screens come into play in the problems that people present? Well, let's take somebody who is anxious and maybe they have a social anxiety. If you have anxiety, your number one defense mechanism is avoidance. And guess what? That actually makes me money. So there is this way to connect, and it's through, well, social media. I don't know if this is the case with your Facebook friends, and I call it InstaFace for combining Instagram with Facebook. So that just includes all the social media look at me parts of life. Those are glamour shots. Those are photoshopped. That does not do a lot for people who already are crippled by anxiety, crippled by depression. They're like, well, wow, they have it together. How much more a loser am I? I make a post. People maybe like it. What if they don't like it? We call that Facebook post insecurity. In the Hive movie, I believe there is this push to get rid of teachers, and that would be a nightmare. You know, I have Miss Brannion, my first grade teacher, who instead of saying, "Why are you crying? Your mom will be here soon. Go sit down," she actually sat down and took the time to, I cry sometimes. And sometimes I don't even know why I'm crying. Is it kind of like that for you? And I'm, oh, yeah. And she walked me through it. I don't think that she said anything profound, but just that human sort of validation. So from then on, when I would look up and see Miss Brannion, and she just kind of gave me that, like, I know, and then I'm okay, as opposed to being in here with all these robotic people who have no problem being away from their mother for 8 hours. I think that it is very important to remember that the more connected we are through digital media, at the same time, we become very isolated. As a licensed professional counselor, I do not claim to know as much as a medical doctor per se, even a biology or science teacher probably, in terms of neurotransmitters in the brain. But I do know enough to understand that the pleasure dopamine in the brain lights up like a Christmas tree on SPECT scans, which are defined imagery of the brain. This scan can actually show you dopamine is present here. In healthy doses of dopamine, you would see someone trying to, with their higher executive functionings, and the prefrontal lobes, right? Logic, reason kick in, and that dopamine, let's say it's color coded as red. So it lights up and they're solving the math problem or they're trying to do this logic question. Great. There's quite a different look, and I'll just say it lights up like a Christmas tree in many ways when someone is on cocaine, maybe abusing opiates, methamphetamines, things like that. Brain imaging of people who have internet addiction, which is constantly changing, fast-paced, stimulating, what I want right now. It's just an easy, we'll call it like the cotton candy of the brain's diet. You know, you're just stuffing yourself with that. But you get no nutrients, right? You get empty calories. And then what happens if you had, a steady diet of cotton candy and maybe you ate a vegetable a week? You're not going to function right. So the brain, likewise, really does not get sharper, but actually gets more dull over time when we're just grabbing the low fruit, so to speak. What if I ask you, how many hours per week does the average teenager spend exclusively engaged with one of these digital devices? Would it surprise you if I said 53.5 hours? That is sadly the answer. Now, 11 of those 53.5 hours per week are spent texting exclusively. This, you might imagine, is going to replace face-to-face, empathic, reciprocating, real communication with a human being. Those are clearly interactions that this teenager could have with a real person. They could be learning how to respond empathically to nonverbal communication. They could be getting to know a friend who is being transparent about a struggle in their life, and then likewise, then this person says, wow, I feel comfortable now to share this with you. And that's how people start to get free of whatever is ailing them, so to speak, on an emotional level. Unfortunately, texting takes all of that, strips all the humanity out of it, and it's like a telegram, The problem is today we have kind of the inverted situation of maybe telegram days. Everybody had to interact, everybody had to be connected, everybody was attached, everybody was fully known by at least one safe person. Now we inverted that and we made life about a telegraph, a sterile communicative process without the life context, really without the human context.
Well, one of the things that I see, personally speaking, in my clinic is a lot of these kids that are affected by these devices is I see a lot of these kids being isolated, meaning they're in their rooms. These kids don't have a lot of friends. If they're into a certain game, they're into it. They're into it 24/7. A lot of times the parents will bring them, say, he doesn't go out anymore, he's just playing games. The end product of that really is, and that's what makes the parent bring the kid in, is the kid starts having issues, anger issues, outbursts, things that they didn't have before. And we're talking kids that are 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I have them as young as 5-year-olds, but most of them are in the 10 to 12, more like in the adolescent age. And these are kids, honestly, I think because of devices, gaming, things like that, they've isolated themselves so much into the games, they don't have any friends. And now that they're getting older, getting into middle school, high school, they don't know how to make friends, which makes it very difficult, leads into depression, anxiety, a lot of other social problems, which I think is the biggest impact on our whole community, our medical community, and our social life around these kids. And I think that's something that every parent, every doctor, everybody that's in the kid's life should intervene right away and try to do something about it. My office, for example, and this is a true story. I mean, I walk in the office, we have signs, no phones. You walk in there, they're on their phone. I mean, a few days ago, I had a patient. He's on his phone, not talking, looking something up, I walk in and we're very busy, and he goes, and I said, I'll be back in half an hour. I left him, went to the next patient. But these devices are literally making us dumber, and these devices are getting smarter. And I think that's something really to be thinking about. So one of the other impacts I think that devices, media, all this electronic gadgets, everything has had on my career is that I think as a physician, and I see it all around me, I see a lot of the other physicians, is that we are losing the human touch, where we're trained to listen, touch the patient, examine the patient before we run a million tests. Now the first thing you know, you have a sick patient, what's the first thing you do is, okay, order this test, do an x-ray, do an EKG, or do a CAT scan, do an MRI, without even really listening to the patient, or maybe you don't need all that. A lot of times, if you go back 60, 70, 80 years ago, how did doctors treat patients? We didn't have any of these devices, but patients were living. Patients were being treated for cancer, for all kinds of stuff. And the way they diagnosed these patients was by history, by listening to the patient, by examining the patient, by touching the patient. And I see it on a daily level every single day. I have new patients come from other physicians' office, and I was trained, you listen to the patient, you examine the patient, and then you go on and do your test. And I'm sure there's a lot of other doctors that do that, but I do that. If I don't do that, I have not treated the patients before I run a lot of tests. I've had a patient in the clinic once that came in that she was very dissatisfied with her family doctor, came in and said, I want a second opinion because I got diagnosed with this problem without him even touching me. Walks in the room and goes, Mrs. Smith, you've got atrial fib, and I'm going to send you to the hospital. And she, first of all, didn't understand what that meant, but the whole shock of going to the hospital, and this is a very healthy lady, and she was just very distraught and upset. And she said, he came in the room, said, yeah, your EKG shows you have atrial fib. Didn't listen to my heart, my lungs, or anything, and said, I'm sending you. And I didn't go, and I'm here right now. So I want a second opinion. And after checking her out, listening to her, she did not have atrial fib. She had what we call PVCs, which are very, very common, and you pick that up. Sometimes the EKG depends on the technician who does it, but if you're not looking at it, you're not listening to the patient, you can get it wrong. And this lady would have been, if you had treated her like that, she would have been committed to taking blood thinners for the rest of her life. And I think that's a big impact on our community as physicians, and the healthcare is we're becoming too dependent on all these gadgets we have. Yes, they're good. Yes, they help us. We need all of this stuff, but you gotta listen to the patient and examine the patient before you order all these tests. So one of the other things that I've noticed over the past few years, I think as our technology is getting more advanced, is I see a lot of kids. I do a lot of sports physicals in the clinic, and the first thing we do is an eye exam. These are your very simple, straightforward eye chart. Stand here and look at that. I would say a lot of these kids are not able to pass these. And a lot of these kids actually are supposed to be wearing glasses or contacts, but they never come with them, which basically tells me usually when kids wear glasses, it's going to be for distance because they can't see distance. And if they're not wearing them all the time, they're not going to get used to it. They're not going to like to wear it. And one of the things that these kids do when they're playing games or they're on their phones, well, you can't see really good with those glasses close up. So there goes the glasses. So when they're actually supposed to be wearing them, they're not. And they come for the sports physicals, whatever sports they're playing, they should be wearing these glasses. You shouldn't come to a sports physical without the glasses. They end up failing their exams. We send them back home. They bring their contacts, glasses. Yeah, they passed. And I always ask a lot of my young kids is, what do you do for fun? What's fun? Games. Games in their phone. I would say that is about the number one thing. And again, it's impacting our kids and our health.
And All right, everybody. All right, everybody. And action.
Today.
Let's just start over real quick and.
Tired of. Can we start over?
Yeah.
Okay. Tired of not knowing what to eat for lunch?
What was my other one?
You'll be completely submerged.
Okay. Welcome to your first day of higher learning via wireless HIVE connectivity. You will learn at a rate that far surpasses.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You will be completely submerged in whatever area you are studying in. In addition. In addition to that thing.
Here, come look at it real quick.
Yeah, this is the one I need to. Inflated internet bills. These virtual bucks. Wasn't that fun? Now it's time for lunch. Class dismissed. But don't forget, you can also log into the Hive and stay entertained whenever class isn't in session.
Cut. Now come back. Whew, it's hot out there. Okay.
A birthday party, but I had no idea how to do it and no idea who to call. So I did a little bit of research and I found the Fire Blaster. The Fire Blaster is only $50 and very easy for someone like me to work.
Well, it comes with a controller, and of course it has instructions for the controller. What happens is, whenever you press a button, the fireworks will come out. A demonstration would be, you would press a green button on the controller, and the fireworks come out. And the extra ammo is only $25.
Yeah, go get Jacob and tell him to eat a piece of pizza real quick. And be really quiet when he comes in. Actually, take him a piece of pizza.
All right, good job. Back to your one. Favorite. Giraffes? I love giraffes, but I just finished a voice lesson.
All right, ready? Yep. Ladies and ladies.
Ladies and ladies.
Hmm.
Ladies and ladies.
Ladies.
Excuse you.
There we go. And action.
I think I got this thing figured out. Look.
I've got a very bad feeling about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, that was my bad. My bad.
He thought
I
that
thought
you
it was a
messed
mistake.
up.
Sorry.
You acted so well that he thought that you did
real.
it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Have a little faith. Not on. Oh, darn.
Going live in 3, 2, 1. Now, wait, I'm going to wake you back up.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody.
Go.
Roll.
And action.
Maggie. All right, go. I'm good.
Cool.
Blink.
Wait. Rolling. Hashtag close-ups for that?
Yep.
All right.
Your request is invalid. That was a W. Request.
Look.
This is Mon.eco when she's
here.
3.
Look here on this one, okay?
Seriously?
Do that last line one more time.
Seriously?
Do it from the previous line. Go ahead. You're good. That's okay.
I
Just
kinda
don't move.
I
All
kinda
right, ready?
Kind of stared at the camera for
It's
a
okay.
second.
And
hard cut in the middle. All right, ready, set, go. Walk towards each other. Walk, walk, walk all the way, all the way. All
Wait,
the
back
way.
to one, back to one.
Go back, back, back.
Can I?
Be alerted when Pepsi obstacle. I love that Pepsi.
Action. Everything. It all happened in one day? How is that possible? It's the hive. How hard is it not?
Just keep your gaze up there.
Oh, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? My parents are pretty scared. Not completely
Huh? It's okay. Y'all just talk for a second. I'm just gonna get an extra shot. All right, now y'all leave. Y'all walk out. Jacob.
Hi.
No. Why won't anyone listen to me?
Do modern. Am I more of an emotional? Better for me to just look down here? Or does that look weird? A change that could. Nope.
Webflix. The dopamine pathway plays a major component in the motivational part of the reward behavior.
Did have fun when we were being taught the old way. With this.
Oh man, my bad. I messed up. I did.
Did you forget the record?
From your line. Okay, ready? Huh?
Did you forget the record or something?
No, he just
I just bumped the camera. Y'all did great.